Hello and welcome to Global Eye with me, Parikshit Luthra. It's been 7 months since the Ukraine-Russia war began. So where do things really stand? Ukraine has recaptured territory which was under Russian control in both southern and eastern Ukraine. President Putin refuses to relent. He's stepping up the military offensive. In the meanwhile, President Biden has warned about the risk of a nuclear Armageddon for the first time since the Cold War. So where is Europe headed with this war? What does this mean for the energy security of countries which are dependent on Russian energy? We're joined by Germany's envoy to India, Philipp Ackermann. Ambassador Ackermann, thank you very much for joining us here on Global Eye. Give us a sense of what does Germany feel about the trajectory of this war? Ukraine has recaptured some important territory in eastern and southern Ukraine, which is under Russian occupation. Russia has announced its intention to annex Ukrainian territory, step up military operations. Where is all of this going?
So, Parikshit, thank you for having me. And I want to start by saying that we observe the situation on the ground very carefully. And as you rightly say, there's a development on the front. It is interesting to see how quickly the Ukrainian troops have being able to conquer parts of the territory back, and that was quite a remarkable achievement, I would say. At the same time, we see continued attacks on Zaporizhzhia, on the nuclear power plant and the surroundings, and therefore, I think one should not be too quick in drawing conclusions. It is a very difficult situation, and this conflict is not going to stop soon. It will be with us for a long time, I'm afraid.
What is your view about the risk of a nuclear escalation? We've seen rocket attacks in Zaporizhzhia. Do you feel that a nuclear escalation is possible?
I think there is a real threat. I don't want to say that it is going to come. I think it's not sure, and we have experienced Putin as a gambler in the past couple of months. He is, you don't know what he has really in mind, but with the situation deteriorating for the Russian side at the front, I will not exclude that he recurs to old threats, and he has voiced and worded these threats a couple of times. So frankly, we are very worried right now.
As Putin gets more desperate, do you see this war entering a more riskier situation?
Yes, I think the risks are real. You have seen that the American side has reached out to the Russians and have made clear, the American side has made clear what that would entail as a consequence from the Western side. So I hope that the Kremlin understood this message loud and clear, that if they escalate, it comes at a tremendous cost also for them. So I still hope and pray that this is not going to happen. But I have to say, after our experience of the last couple of months, we expect, the worst, basically. So let's keep our fingers crossed that it's not going to happen.
According to you, how could this war change Europe's security architecture?
This is a very interesting question, and I think that is the main question that every European country is asking itself now. Now, I think what you have seen in Germany is a sea change, as it were, when it comes to a reassessment of foreign policy. We have started rearming our own army by with a large amount of money. We feel that territorial defense is becoming much more important. We will try to enable our army, but also other European armies, in order to defend European territories against aggression. And therefore, I think you'll see a more robust approach in Europe militarily when it comes to defending its borders than we had before. Frankly, we were under the illusion that war in Europe was not an option anymore. And basically, we were very surprised that this illusion was false, was a wrong illusion. So therefore, we have to rearrange our thinking. We have to beef up our armies, and that's done together with our European allies and friends.
Also give us a sense of how Germany is looking to step up military support to Ukraine.
So as my government has said, we will support Ukraine as long as it is necessary. Germany is one of the top 3 contributors to Ukraine. We have civilian and humanitarian aid delivered, but also we have a lot of weaponry and ammunition delivered, including vehicles, small tanks, howitzers, and machine guns, and so forth. So Our commitment to Ukraine is very, very steady and will continue as long as it is necessary. It will go hand in hand with the support of our allies, America, but also European allies, and we will shape. But you can count. Ukraine can count on Germany in this context.
And asking you about a medium and long-term view of how Germany is looking to secure its economic needs and energy needs as a result of this war.
So, as they say in diplomacy, never waste a crisis. You know, you must see sources of energy that are now for us much more interesting, and I think mainly that would be renewables. We will heavily invest in renewable energy and storage of renewable energy. We will very, very substantially invest in hydrogen, in green hydrogen. So you'll see that there is a transition in energy provision in Germany that will be accelerated by this war in Ukraine. And you know, everybody in Germany is looking towards sources of energy that are non-fossil and have to be developed very quickly on the ground with wind, solar, water, and hydrogen. So this will be, I think, a growing part of our energy mix in the very, very near future. And maybe this is basically one good thing out of this whole catastrophe, that we are accelerating our transition to non-fossil and renewable energy.
All right, we've run out of time, but Ambassador Philipp Ackermann, thank you very much for joining us here on Global Eye to give us Germany's view on where this war is headed and about the risk of a nuclear escalation as well. On that note, we take a short break here on Global Eye. When we return, we get you an exclusive conversation with Hans Timmer, the World Bank chief economist for South Asia, on the latest World Bank outlook for India and South Asia. Don't go anywhere, that exclusive conversation coming up.